Welcome to the Smoke Signals DieHard TryHards Try Creating the Soundtrack to My Life. In our final challenge of the school year, 4 staff writers, Varun, Tanisha, Tavish, and Jessica, have each curated personal playlists that they feel reflect their life stories thus far. My name is Ian Park, and I'm this year's feature editor. I'll be judging each contestant's playlists and video explanations on their creativity, personal insights, and with bonus points for playlists that contain music by Kanye West or Kid Cudi. Let's get started.
Hi, my name's Tanisha, and I'm a second-year staff writer at The Smoke Signal. For this cycle's DieHard TryHard take on writing a soundtrack to our lives, I decided to take on this challenge in a completely new way by making an entire playlist out of just Taylor Swift songs. I've been a pretty diehard Swiftie since 2008, and ever since then my life has pretty much been defined by different Taylor Swift eras. From being able to scream the lyrics to You Belong With Me during the Fearless era, all the way to today, counting down the minutes until Taylor Swift releases Wildest Dreams, Taylor's version. Hopefully it's soon. I decided to represent the different eras of Taylor Swift as well as the evolution of my own life with a selection of 13 different tracks in this playlist. I decided to start off with Mean, a song from her third studio album, Speak Now, that kind of talks about the struggles of growing up and going through your first hardships, like facing bullying or feeling like you're not good enough, which kind of mirrors some of the struggles that I went through when I was younger. Later on, as a preteen, I went through a pretty hard emo phase myself, and I kind of represented that with a selection of some other tracks like Mr. Perfectly Fine and Don't Blame Me in the middle of this playlist. And lastly, I think it all just comes full circle with the songs that I've chosen to end off the playlist, like our song from her debut album and Paper Rings from Lover, that kind of show how I'm in a much more positive headspace now than I was previously in my life, and that show that I'm ready for new changes and anything that life might bring my way. I decided to end this playlist with New Romantics from 1989 because I think it just shows that I'm in a pretty monumental turning point in my life, and there are so many different opportunities that I can make the most of as a teenager and going forward into the real world as an adult. I really enjoyed making this playlist as a whole. It was really exciting not only to choose my 13 favorite Taylor Swift songs, although it was very difficult, but also just to find the deeper meanings in each one of these songs, whether it means respecting yourself and learning what it means to be heard and be valued, or just learning how to deal with criticism and rise above it. I think there's definitely something in Taylor Swift songs for everyone to take a lesson from, and it was just so meaningful to have this experience as part of DieHard TryHards. I'm so excited for you guys to listen to these songs, and I hope you guys have a fantastic time listening to all of our exciting playlists, so have fun listening. Thank you.
So now I'm going to be going over my choices for the soundtrack of my life, also known as the trials and tribulations of being Tavish, and I'm just going to give some brief explanation to each of the songs. So how I approached this was I basically broke my life into 5 major chapters, with each chapter separated by turning points in my life. So the soundtrack starts with Akuna Matata, which is the first song in the first chapter, Blissful Innocence. And basically, Akuna Matata is from one of my favorite Disney movies of all time, Lion King, and I would sing that song all the time. And it also means no worries, which I feel like sums up how I was feeling at the time. I didn't really have anything to stress about. I just was kind of free to do whatever I wanted. And then the second song I chose from that chapter is Over the Rainbow by Judy Garland. And so actually in 5th grade I did The Wizard of Oz as a musical, and Over the Rainbow is one of the songs in the musical, and so I got obsessed with the song and also The Wizard of Oz, and I would continue to talk about it till like 8th grade. And Over the Rainbow also discusses, looking over the rainbow and looking to the future, which I feel like I was doing a lot of back then. I was looking at middle school and high school, and I was so excited for that independence. And then the second chapter is Mood Swings, and it's basically my middle school experience because there was just a lot of changing emotions. So it starts with Retrograde by James Blake, and he sings about you're on your own in a world you've grown, few more years to go. And basically that's what I really felt like at the time. I was kind of feeling really lonely because I was finding myself and figuring out who I was, which sounds really emo and dramatic, but I was also really I was like, okay, just a couple more years till I get to high school, a couple more years till I get to college, and that was really my mentality. And then Toxic by Britney Spears. And so this is kind of like one of those waves. My emotions were coming in waves. So Toxic was like an iconic song by Britney Spears I would listen to all the time. And it was like fun and funky. And then Nobody by Mitsuki is the last song in the chapter, Mood Swings. And basically, Nobody by Mitsuki is discussing, again, these themes of loneliness and struggle. And I think 8th grade was definitely one of the worst years of my life. So I think Nobody really captures it. And I used to listen to that song all the time. And then the next chapter is The Golden Age, and that starts with my freshman year. One Way or Another by Blondie is the first song, and it's from Mean Girls, which that movie I obsessed over in freshman year. I even did a speech on it in Speech and Debate, and so that song really reminds me of speech and kind of persevering and pushing past, because that's one way or another you're going to get to where you're going. And then Dancing Queen by Abba. Abba is one of my favorite bands of all time, and Mamma Mia was peak cinema. So Dancing Queen also describes, young and sweet, only 17. So I was 17, so I picked that. And finally, The Golden Age ends with 6 Feet Under by Billie Eilish. And that's a song that I used to listen to on the plane ride back from tournaments. And it kind of represented this ending. And I think listening to the song and the headspace I was in, I was finally realizing, a lot of these things are coming to an end. A lot of my friends are graduating. My high school experience is halfway done. Wow, all of this great times that I was having is coming to an end. And so kind of reflects that emo-ness. And then Eat, Study, Sleep, Repeat is the next chapter, the 4th chapter, and it starts with Mystery of Love by Sufian Stevens, just because that is a heart-wrenching song, and I would used to listen to it when I was studying, and I just, Sufian Stevens is amazing, and it's from Call Me By Your Name, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. And the next song I chose was Barefoot in the Park by James Blake and Rosalia, and this song is important to me because it comes from the first album that I ever reviewed for The Smoke Signal, Assume Form. And so I think it's just a monumental song for me, and it's a beautiful song, and I used to listen to it all the time while I was studying, because it's calm and kind of somber. And the last song in Eat, Study, Sleep, Repeat was Ribs. And Ribs by Lorde describes this just having this amazing time with your friends, but there's also a sad tone to it, which I feel perfectly describes what I was feeling back then, because I was studying, stressed out, but I was also having these amazing times with my friends. And there's a lyric where she says, laughing till our ribs get tough, which I think really describes what I was feeling. And then finally, the last chapter is Bittersweet Goodbyes. It starts with Last Great American Dynasty from Taylor Swift. And that was from her album Folklore, which was a defining feature of my, pandemic experience and quarantine experience. That album was huge. And it also represents the end of something amazing, and which I think my senior year really felt like that. And the next song is My Future by Billie Eilish. And there's a line where she says, I love my future, can't wait to meet her. And that's how I'm feeling right now. I'm really, really looking forward to college and after, and I'm just so excited to move forward with my life. And the last song of the soundtrack is City of Stars from La La Land. And City of Stars describes Los Angeles, which is where I'm going to school. And so it also talks about how, this idea of dreams, and how you have so many dreams, and some of them are not going to come true, and some of them are, and there's just a beauty in that. And so I think that really sums up how I'm ready to move on. I'm ready to go to Los Angeles and have an amazing time and fulfill my dreams. So yeah, hope you enjoyed.
Hi, my name is Varun. I'm the events manager and a second-year staff writer at The Smoke Signal, and this is my playlist. So first up, we have Amari by J. Cole. It's the current song that's stuck in my head, and it brings that energetic, hype atmosphere I really wanted to start off my playlist with. Anytime I was happy in high school, I was always with my friends, just chilling, having a good time with that very similar atmosphere. Second up, we have Goosebumps by Travis Scott. Again, adds on to this whole energetic hype thing I wanted to start off the playlist with. And it is the #1 karaoke song of all time. Nothing will ever top it. Anybody who knows me knows that whenever the song is on the aux, I'm 1000% singing my heart out, because it just never fails to go hard every single time it's played. The next few songs are all really just vibey and chill, which is just reflective of the person I am today. We have Die For You by The Weeknd.
In My Room by Frank Ocean, and Colorado by Coda. With these 3 songs, I always had them on repeat anytime I felt myself getting a little bit stressed and a little bit overwhelmed. Something I realized later on in high school was the importance of mental health and how it's really important to prioritize it if you want to prevent yourself from burning out. So anytime I just needed like a mental break from all the stress I was having, these 3 songs would be on repeat and they'd help me escape. Next 2 songs are Games on Your Phone and Unbelievable, both by 24kGoldn. Again, on their own, really just vibey and chill. And in terms of the meaning, I'm a little bit of a romantic, I'm not gonna lie. I've had a few crushes in high school, I'm sure most of us have. And, I'm sure most people can agree with me when I say when you have a crush, it's this really cute feeling where like, man, I hope they're thinking about me right now because I'm thinking about them. And again, it's this really cute, adorable feeling, and Games on Your Phone sort of embodies that. And then Unbelievable, which is the next song, it's when that crush turns out to be successful, you're like, man, that's unbelievable. Next song is Reborn by Kid Cudi. I'd be lying if I said I didn't have any bad days in high school. I certainly did. And anytime I did, this song would be on repeat until I fell asleep. It's about, learning from your mistakes and just moving on. Because, every day you're reborn. Up, Up, and Away is the next song, again by Kid Cudi. And this is sort of my get up and win the day mentality. Everybody's gonna judge you, everybody's gonna have some secret bias, but it's important to just ignore that. Something I learned like sophomore, junior year was, when you constantly compare, constantly judge yourself based on other people's expectations, it's this really toxic mentality and it prevents you from being really happy over the accomplishments you normally should be and deserve to be proud of. Next song is Show You by Shawn Mendes. Throughout high school, this song is sort of just embodied me. I really love proving doubters wrong, and this is what the song is all about. When people say they don't think I can do something, it just motivates me 1,000 times more to do it. Next song is Cricket Smile. Something I struggled with a little bit was self-love and realizing the importance of it. And something this song has helped me realize, something it's helping me realize is, whenever I look in the mirror, I'm starting to love what I see, imperfections and all, inside and out. I'm starting to learn to love who I am, and I hope people who listen to this song and who are going through some of the same things can start doing the same. Next 2 songs are sort of my current feelings, about to graduate in less than 2 weeks. We have Tribe, and this song is just about being at the top of the world, being at the top of the game with just super happy vibes. And one recurring line is, I think I made it, and I definitely think I did. We all did. Class of 2021, we made it past these 4 years, and that's something to be really proud of. Good Old Days is the very last song, and it's just a classic song to reminisce. Nobody sums it up better than Andy Bernard from The Office in this pretty overused quote. I wish there was a way to know you're in the good old days before you've actually left them. And, I certainly think that is the case. 10 years from now, I'm not going to remember all the lows, all the low points in high school. I'm only going to remember the good, happy memories I made with my teachers, my peers, my friends, and I'm super grateful for that. While it's a little bit sad to be leaving so soon, I'm excited to start the new chapter of my life, and that's what this song represents. So yeah, that is my playlist. Hope you enjoyed it. And
hi, my name is Jessica, and I'm a first-year staff writer at the Smoke Signal. And for this cycle's DieHard, TryHard, I made a soundtrack playlist of all the songs that kind of sum up my high school career of the last 3 years. So let's just get into it. So I kind of chose my track list based on how I feel like I've progressed through the last 3 years of my high school. So if you listen to it in order that I put it together in, it's gonna basically be like a journey of how I felt throughout my high school career. So the first song on this list is Take on the World, which is the theme song of Girl Meets World, which was one of my favorite songs when I was a freshman, or even like 7th grade and 8th grade. So this kind of just shows like, how you feel as a freshman. Like you feel like you're gonna take on the high school journey, you're gonna do so many things, you're gonna accomplish so many things. And that's kind of how I felt as a freshman. Moving on was Night Changes by One Direction and Godspeed by Frank Ocean. So these 2 songs I think had a really big impact on my life just because they're very reminiscent songs, and in my freshman year it was like kind of like where I was learning how to grow up, like do things on my own, and I think that those 2 songs are like perfectly encapsulate both of those, like that type of feeling. And then These Nights by 88 Rising and Freshman List by Nav. These were definitely one of my top songs, and they're actually in my top songs of like 2019, which is why I chose to put them in this playlist. I went through like my old top songs and like my on repeat of right now to kind of decide like how I was gonna put this playlist together. And those two songs are really impactful. Like firstly, because the 88 Rising is actually like one of the only all Asian music labels, I think. So I really like them in my freshman and sophomore year. So that song is very dear to my heart. Wanna Grow Old by XXX Tentacion. This song is just really good. I don't know. I really liked it and I listened to it a lot. And then Good Things Fall Apart by Illenium, which was probably like the middle of my sophomore year. I really love this song. This was like my top song, like the top song. It's even the top song of my all time. So this song is really good. Like people like love to clown on it because it's like a rave song, but it's just the meaning behind it is really nice. And then probably like the start of quarantine, I started listening to You and Me by James T.W., which is just such a good song. Like I can't even explain it. It's a really impactful song. And Rainbow Bop by Jaden. And the funny story behind Rainbow Bop is that I actually wrote about it for Smoke Signal for my mock album review. So it's funny how that it comes full circle because now I'm talking about it in a DieHard TryHard. And then there's Every Way by Rex Orange County, which is in his Pony album, which is a classic. You have to listen to it if you haven't. It's probably one of my all-time favorites right now. And then Flaws and Sins by Juice WRLD. Juice WRLD is one of my favorite artists too, so I had to put it in there. And then Good For You by Olivia Rodrigo. Just right now I feel like that song is really good, just because it's like really motivational and it's just like, you know, it gives you the vibes that like, it's like good for you, but I'm doing better. So I like that. And then Proud of You by by Lil Uzi Vert and Young Thug. This song is just like, it's just nice. It's just like really upbeat, and sometimes you need that upbeat vibes in your life. And then 90210. I never know how to say it, but it's a Travis Scott song, and it's one of my favorite Travis Scott songs, so I had to put that in. As well as Good Life by G-Eazy and Kehlani, and the song is just like, the vibes are just really good, so I just had to put it in. And it's like kind of showing how like I've come full circle as a high schooler, and I'm looking towards like applying to colleges and like just growing from here, and I just want to, and that song was kind of just like, you know, you're growing and you're making your next step in life, so I really like it. So yeah, that's the summary of my songs.
Well, that's a wrap on our final DieHard TryHard. We hope you guys enjoyed the episode, and for more content by The Smoke Signal, please make sure to visit www.thesmokesignal.org.